I often say if I can tell a movie is going to be bad based on the trailer and years of experience, I won't go see that movie. Because what's the point? Sure, I can make a video that dunks on them for the views, but I mean, there's already a lot of YouTubers who make a career off of giving bad reviews on movies we all knew were going to be terrible. But that's not really what I'm into. I genuinely want to see good movies and help the medium grow to a better place. And intentionally watching/reviewing a bad movie for views feels unfruitful for me and for anyone who happens to watch my video. Which is why I have a rule. Don't waste time on films you know are going to be bad. That being said, I, on rare occasions, break that rule for particular reasons. Such is the case with the new Lord of the Rings film, The War of the Rohirrim, which has all the hallmarks of a 2016 era girl boss Mary Sue movie, where we take a character that was so unimportant that she doesn't even have a name in the original works and produce an entire film around her, ignoring all the lore and what the original creator said to make her flawless and just plain better than everyone else because she's a woman. And all the men around her are bad, weak, or useless because unfortunately, they are men. Creating a story devoid of any plot, actual dialogue, creativity, or talent solely made for the purpose of destroying something men like. Because how dare they like something and be happy? If you've been somewhat conscious in the past decade, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But regardless, I decided to go see it anyways, solely because of the anime art style. I wanted to see what The Lord of the Rings looks like when animated by Japan. Because I mean, we all saw what happened when Japan does Star Wars. It was amazing, and I was kind of hoping for a similar outcome, at least visually. So I dusted off my helmet and shield, hopped on my horse, and went to go see The War of Rohirrim. And it was exactly what we thought. Kind of. It is a bad movie, but not for the reasons we thought. Mostly. There is definitely some brain-dead girl bossing going on here, but surprisingly, most of it isn't done by the main character. Until the end, of course. But the end goes so full-on stupid, I don't even have the words for it yet. No, what really makes this movie so bad is all of the narrative-breaking moments that are so devoid of any logic or reason that it just completely undermines any kind of tone or plot device the narrative is trying to establish, ripping the audience out of the story because it's just so unreasonably stupid. So, for my highbrow critic score, I give War of the Rohirrim a 3 out of 10. And for my schmo score, the score for the average Joe Schmo, I give it a 2 out of 10. Now, this is the part where I explain my reviews and get into spoiler territory. So, if you would like to watch The War of the Rohirrim, spoiler-free, this is where we part ways. Thanks for showing up, and I want you to have a nice day. The story of Helm Hammerhand was always a bizarre choice for a movie. It's a story of a king making really stupid decisions that result in war, which leads to Edoras being destroyed, his people being slaughtered, and losing his sons and eventually his own life, leaving the people of the Riddermark to be saved by his nephew, Freylof, who then restores order and starts the second line of kings. But what's even more bizarre than that is taking a character from that story who is only mentioned once and has no name, and then making them the main character. Because if you really wanted a story that revolves around the heroism of a woman, there are already many stories that revolve around really awesome women in the Silmarillion you could have chosen. Like the story of Luthien comes to mind. She did some pretty cool stuff, you know, like defeating Sauron with the help of her giant dog friend. Yep. But no, let's just make up a female character and then give her all the credit for what others have done. And that's basically what they did. Instead of the nephew Freyalof being the hero and saving Rohan, this new made-up character Hera does it. Pretty cool stuff. Did I mention that Luthien also accomplishes a feat that was said to be impossible just to be with the love of her life and secure victory for her people? I'm just saying. Also said to be the most beautiful being ever created with the voice of an angel. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just putting it out there. Anyways, let's talk about the dumb and wrap this up. Like I said earlier, the main character Hera, for most of the movie, never really girl bosses. When confronted with problems, she uses trickery and others' help to overcome them. Even when she wants to take part in the war, she doesn't want to be a foot soldier. She offers to be a messenger between captains, as being so light, she is the fastest rider. It's all pretty sensible stuff throughout the majority of the movie. Of course, all of this goes out the window at the end when she single-handedly faces off with an entire army and defeats the main bad guy, a man twice her size and a well-seasoned warrior, by crushing his throat with basically her bare hands. Yep, all believable stuff here. No, the real Mary Sue, the queen of the girl bosses, is this character. And no, I don't remember her name. She's supposed to be her main guardian and mentor, who used to be a shield maiden of Rohan. A group, by the way, that was never confirmed to have ever existed in Tolkien's original work. But honestly, that's fine. The real problem is this, 50, 60-year-old grandma taking on hordes of men in combat and not being immediately murdered. More believable stuff, huh? At one point, she just jumps out of a 2 or 3 story window and just lands on her feet like it's nothing. The 60-year-old grandma does what now? Here's a fun experiment. Why don't you go ahead and take your grandma upstairs and... No, don't do that. Because we all know what will happen if you do. And that's just one of many, many stupid things that happen in this movie, which I do not have the time to go through in this video. Which is why I plan to spend hours explaining every single failure in excruciating detail on my next live stream. Bring your drinks, because trust me, you don't want to stomach this sober. But for now, I'm going to give you one scene that I think is a good representation of this movie. So at one point, Hera finds this secret passage out of the Hornburg that leads to the nearby mountainside, where she accidentally comes upon some orcs. Luckily, her father Helm shows up to save her. But in all the commotion, the enemy soldiers hear them and are on their way. So Hera and Helm need to get back to the Hornburg quickly. So you would think, hey, let's just use that secret passage I just came out of that is literally right behind me, right? Nope. They're like, we need to make a run for the main gate. It's the only way. No, it isn't. You literally just showed us a passageway 5 minutes ago. What do you mean? So they make a run for it, and spoilers, Helm dies in the process. And they try to make it this tragic, epic moment, but it just comes off as stupid. Because there was no reason for it to happen. They could have just used the secret passageway. That's what this movie is. A bunch of stupid, brain-dead moments undercutting the narrative that pathetically tries to be impactful. It's just plain bad writing. Everything from the plot to the dialogue is just god-awful. Who wrote this pile of garbage? Actually, I know the answer. Cause you see, for these videos, I actually do a bit of research. Shocking, I know. But it turns out, You don't even have to go that deep to find all the answers. Just hit up the wiki page and scroll down to right about here. The writing. Every question you have about why this movie is so bad is all right here. Like, why would anyone choose to spend all this time and money animating this particular story when Tolkien's world has dragons the size of mountains, warriors capable of splitting the earth, spiders so big and powerful they defy all logic and reason, things that can only be depicted through animation, and yet you chose a story about horse people. Why? Oh, it's right here. Several story ideas were suggested for the first anime film based on Tolkien's novels, but Bowens insisted that they focus on the kingdom of Rohan, as she felt that culture was best suited for the medium.
It's funny how dumb you are.
Tell us you know nothing about anime without telling us you know nothing about anime, you idiot. I ask again, who wrote this slop? Oh, right here. Bowens asked her daughter, Phoebe Gittins, and her friend to rewrite the script. Ah, I thought I recognized the pungent failure of nepotism. It's actually pretty funny. Every question you have is all right here. It should really be retitled as, "This is why the movie sucks." All in all, it's a real shame because, like I mentioned, I think animation is one of the only ways to fully depict the more fantastical events in Tolkien's world. And this absolute failure is going to hurt, if not outright destroy, any future plans to animate Tolkien's world. But there it is. No, I do not recommend this movie, but hey, you do you. Anyways, thanks for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll catch ya at the next one.